Hello there, fourth graders. Here we are at lesson 17, Functions with Artist. Boy, this one is a tough one. I've just spent the last probably 20 to 30 minutes trying to get it all figured out so that I can help you with this instruction. So I hope that you are looking at the slide presentations that I am creating to get a little extra background information. I'll see if I can move my picture. There we go. So on this slide, we have the two main components to using functions. This is pretty wordy, and I understand that, but I will try to kind of break it down a little bit more so it's a little easier to understand. So the two main components to using functions are, the first one is the declaration. Function declarations are what create a function or make a function. In a function declaration, you will fill in the function with code and you give it a name. You must declare or create a function before you can use it. So in a couple of lessons prior to this one, we learned how to draw squares and draw different shapes. And what you could do is take all of that code and just turn it into the function called draw a square. Instead of using all of those blocks, you created a function called draw a square. And if you watch the introductory video to this lesson, you will hear Bill Gates talking about that very same thing. So the work is already done. There's the reason why we use functions is so that we don't have to keep using a whole bunch of different blocks. We create that function and then using blocks that we want, and then we can use that in our program going forward. The next component of using functions is the call. Function calls are what makes the program run the code in the function. I am noticing a lot of spelling errors. I'm missing some letters here. To call a function, you place the name of your function in your program. Make sure your function is defined before calling or using it in your program. So that is exactly what I was just talking about, like with draw a square. You you tell the computer what it needs to do, move forward, 75 pixels, then turn right 90 degrees, move forward 75 pixels, turn right 90 degrees, all of those things. Those are the parts, but you have to actually name it by calling it draw a square in order to use it again. So let me get out of here. So when we're in code.org and you are on lesson 17, Functions with Artist, the first one is a little prediction, a multiple choice question. If I go back to that, you'll see the answer. So I want you to be able to do that yourself. So here is exactly what we're talking about with the function. So a function has been created already. The function is called draw a square. So it will show you what those functions are. So if you click on here, the only function that we'll use right now that's available to us is called draw a square. So the first few times it will give us the function, but then later on you are going to be actually creating a function. So you need to know what all of that means. So it shows you the function, which you can just kind of move out of the way, but you can see that to draw a square, we are using the looping block of repeat 4 times and move forward by 100 pixels, turn right by 90 degrees, and then repeat that 4 times to get a square. So you will have to add a little bit more to this because right now we are just drawing the square, but after he's drawn the square, we need to get him over to the other side of the glasses. So if we just run it right now, all he does is draw that square. So it tells us to keep coding, something's not quite right. So you are going to, move into the actions, do what you need to do. It tells us that each square is 75 pixels. The pixels, excuse me, are 75 pixels apart. So if you know that one edge of the square is 75 pixels, this is also 75 pixels. You need to tell it how many pixels to move. So that would be 75 plus 75 is 150. So I will do this. I'm going to change this to 150. And then I'm going to go back to my functions and find draw a square. and we will try this out. Again, checking to make sure that we're using the correct number of blocks, which we are, and let's see if this works. So of course, reset, and let's see. Oops, I did something wrong. So I did not add enough on there. So I have to see what I missed. So again, we can just keep checking this, reset, maybe change that number to 175. And I tell you what, this is the part that always gets me, but we are finding bugs. We debug. There we go. So I just had to add a little bit more to that, and it tells me that I completed it. I sometimes find myself kind of shaking my head and wondering, what am I doing? And I just keep plugging away because that's all we can do. As I've said, as we've gone along, don't try to go through this full steam ahead unless this is something that you're very comfortable with. Take some time with it, spread it out over the entire week if you want to, maybe spend 20 minutes a day working on code, and that's it. So we really only have, with code.org in the course that we are in, which is course E for 4th grade, we only have 2 more lessons after this one. So I will be including in your last week, which is just the 2 days of school in June, just those, the 7th and 8th, just to go ahead and look at some summer reading suggestions that we'll be putting together for all of our virtual students, as well as our in-person students. So keep working away on code.org and have a great day.